Start talking.
All right, start talking.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back
Rolling.
to GSX 2019. Chuck Harrell, SecurityGuideTV.com, ASISTV.org. My next contestant, what's your name, young man?
Yep, Bruce McIndoe. I'm president and founder of WorldAware, formerly iJet, so worldaware.com.
And formerly iJet's iJet's a name, been around a long time, and now WorldAware is a rebranding. I love it. I think it makes a lot of sense. And tell us what you guys do, because you're not doing what you used to do. You're doing more.
Well, we're doing a little bit more. We're still the end-to-end. You know, it's the intelligence so that somebody can have decision-making information, the system that figures out how relevant is that information to their business, get it to the right people that can act on it, and then we run the 24/7 hotline and response services on the back end if somebody actually needs help.
And you've recently added some NAS notification pieces to this, and really, it's kind of it's like a full service. It's not just intelligence. It's intelligence. It's response. It's analytics. It's something different in the business.
Yeah, it's a full journey, right? And Everbridge came into the market. They were a big mass notification company, and we needed to address that. So we took and acquired a mass notification company, integrated that into our platform. So now that's seamlessly integrated into the full spectrum of what we do, and delivering that to the market. So that's where we are this year.
So we used you guys, I don't know if it might be 20 years ago at the studios. It was a standard, right? Mm-hmm. Where's the business gone in 20 years? How much more complex is the world? How much more complicated? Or is it easier because of the connectivity? We can find things faster and easier.
Yeah. So
which one is it?
So the challenge that we have in this market is the barrier to entry for somebody to whip up a GPS locating app is like zero. And you'll see dozens and dozens of people that are putting out, location tracking and location alerting, and it's just proliferating. So the buyer has to sort through all that.
Right.
And yeah, it's tough.
But from an analytical point of view, when you're gathering data, do you have different challenges than you did 20 years ago?
Totally. I would say social media being the number one challenge. I would say 20 years ago, largely relying on media. We had about 800 stringers in 600 cities giving us local information. Right. Now you've got real-time, massive amounts of social media where people are saying, hey, this guy just jumped over a fence, or there's a fight over here, or there's a protest forming or whatever. So there's a lot of that either incident reporting or pre-indicators of problems sitting out there. And so it takes machine learning, AI to process all of that. And we have what we do in-house as well with a number of partners.
So my challenge to you would be, how do you know which part of that data is real and valuable? Well, valuable is different analysis, but real, I think, is the first
valuable
analysis.
is in the eyes of the recipient. But
yeah, so that could be, but real is everybody's concern, right?
So,
I mean, that's a tough one.
Yeah, so what is real or what is fake?
Exactly.
Right? And so we have 120 analysts now in 4 operating centers: Singapore, Cape Town, London, and Washington. And they spend their time focusing on source authenticity and making sure that when they're looking at this, is there any other collaborating information that's going to say that this is a real thing? Now, sometimes if it's an A-rated source, they may go with it and say, look, as best we know, this is happening. And then they'll put out corrections if it's not.
Right.
But usually we have multi-sourcing to validate that it's real.
What are we doing about the upcoming deep fakes, as they call them? I mean, we're getting to a point where I can put out a video of Teddy Roosevelt down at the grocery store, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
And we've had that before, because people would use protest video from like 2 years ago and say it's going on. So we've had to deal with that kind of stuff for a long time. But now a currently recorded video is manipulated, and that is tough. And
is video considered down at the bottom of your interest list as far as information? It's one source, but it can be so easily changed. Maybe it's not the best source.
We use video once we're on it.
Okay.
Usually we're getting tip-offs from something else but once we're focusing, then we're keying up on police radio, video, anything that we can do to augment the situational awareness.
So what is WorldAware looking like today? Are we looking at some graphic user interfaces, some logins, some mobile phone stuff? How easy is it for somebody to get in there and start using the product?
Yeah, we love it now. It's been a great evolution. Basically, we deploy our app to everybody in the company. So they load the app onto their phone, they register it once, they don't have to run it, they just have to register it. From that moment on, they are continuously monitored relative to what city they're in. And so if there's something going on in Chicago, we will send the information to the phone.
Oh, interesting, all right.
And the phone will look at it and say, is this relevant from a, maybe I'm in a whole different part of, and then it'll push it to the user, regardless of what they're doing. They could be on vacation, they could be commuting and taking their kids to school, they could be on a business trip. So you have this continuous location awareness, not tracking.
Right.
And then this location-based alerting no matter where they are. That's kind of the base service. So you just bring it up, you deploy it to all your employees, you have the SOC or the admin to look at everybody, and you're done. So that's that simple. Then if you want to add the travel piece, then you can collect those itineraries like we've been doing for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's when you actually get to do risk management.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right. Somebody dropping into Sana'a, Yemen and firing up their phone and saying, I'm in Sana'a, it's a little late.
Right. That's right.
But if you have an itinerary, now you can look at it and say, what do we need to do to mitigate and prepare?
It's just coming down to a consumer user level. I travel cross country 3 or 4 times a year, back and forth. And I'm in, been in 40 states.
Yep.
And, I'd love something like this as a consumer to say, you know what? I happen to be in Georgia, and look what's going on. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Or is it still more kind of an enterprise level stuff?
So right now, like, for example, we do consumer, but through partners. So, for example, Allianz Travel, that's the number 1 travel insurer in North America, working with them to provide this service to their insureds as they, have a trip or whatever. We're working with other insurance companies in Kidnap and other areas to kind of add this. For us to go to the, just general public, we're not geared for that. So we work with partners that bundle this and then deploy it out, usually with other products.
Fantastic. Name and website one more time.
Sure, it's WorldAware, worldaware.com.
Fantastic. Back to a minute here, 2000. Let me start over.
All right.
Why don't you take us out? Why don't you do that?
What's that?
Why don't you take us out on the show?
Take you out?
Yeah, you say. So, we'll be back here in a minute. Back in a minute.
Go visit booth 2253, and we'll be back in a minute.
Excellent. GSX 2019, SecurityGuideTV.com.